live at 11, and I am going to be sharing a little bit about this book that I started reading. It's The Power of One More by Ed Milet. All right. If you don't follow him, he's incredible. And for those of you that don't know me, my name is Tamika, and I help motivated women be able to win in their life with simple tools that are going to create confidence and consistency while being a present mom. As you know, my kids are in school. I am home, about to be alone. My husband's headed to a dentist appointment. And as I was thinking this morning of what I wanted to talk to you guys about today, of course, the answer comes when I start doing personal development and I just like reflect on my own life. What do I need? And if I need it, you probably need it too. All right. So as you're hopping on, if you're catching live, drop live. Tell me where you're watching from. If you're doing the replay, hashtag replay. And I'm in Wyoming, good old Wyoming, which I know not a lot of people are from here or are familiar with the area, but it's awesome. I love it here. So today I want to talk to you about how to raise your internal thermometer. So when I was thinking about this, I actually was just sitting in the living room with my husband, just being like, man, I don't feel qualified to even talk about this because I'm not where I want to be. And he just reminded me of like how far I've come and kind of where I started and the accomplishments that I have been able to achieve. And I think it's always important that we are looking to raise that thermometer, always looking to better ourselves, because ultimately that's what keeps us moving in the forward direction. Otherwise we just get stuck or we start to go backwards. So hey, Donna and Natalie. And I see Smiley. Oh, you guys are awesome. All right. So Andy Warhol is the one that gave this quote. He said, they always say that time changes things, but you actually have to change them yourself. And that is so true. When I think about either like past relationships or hobbies or anything like that, like if you just stop communicating with people, yeah, time is going to change things, but you made that choice by, not continuing to practice, not continuing to stay in touch. And so time actually doesn't change anything. Our actions are what changes it all. So first off, what's your identity? And I took some notes that way I didn't like screw this up too bad, but your identity is so powerful and it's what influences the outcomes in your life. And when I think about my identity and how it's limited, like whether it's limited it or helped it progress, my success, my finances, my achievements, but also my emotions, my relationships, and my self-worth. Okay. So identity is described as the thoughts and concepts that you believe about yourself. And that can be shaped from the time you were very, very small, as we get older and people say things about us or we have certain experiences, like obviously that's going to help shape our identity, whether for good or for bad. And so just kind of first being aware of the identity of who you believe that you are, I think is very, very powerful. So if you have never done this before, just sitting down and writing everything about yourself, the things that you believe to be true, can you write on a paper, I am beautiful or I am handsome and feel good about that? Are you confident? Are you disciplined, organized? All these types of things can kind of shape our identity, right? And based on your internal temperature. So that's kind of what Ed is talking about in the first chapter of this book. If you consider, like if your average temperature, like what you see yourself is at 75 degrees, but you're hanging out with a bunch of people whose internal temperature is set at 50 degrees, what are some of the things that you're going to say to yourself? Maybe you're going to say, oh, like, I don't really need to have my temperature this hot, or it's okay. These people are happy down here. And it's almost like, opening the window or door in your house. And if you hang out with people that are at a 50-degree temperature, then what are you automatically going to do? You're automatically going to go down too. So the people that you surround yourself matters. The things that you say to yourself matter. And it's interesting because as I was thinking about the different areas of my life, I thought when it comes to my health and my weight, there are many times where I lose weight and I feel really good. but then I tend to get back up to this certain number, and then I'll gain weight and then I'll lose it again. And it goes up and down, but ultimately, like, I have an internal thermostat set at 165 pounds, where when I gain weight, I like am upset at myself, and I go all in on a diet and exercise and do all the things that I need to do until I get a little bit below. And then I self-sabotage and I'm like, oh, I look so good. I feel so good. And I get right back up to this point. And so I have this internal thermostat set at 165 pounds. And unless if I change my identity, unless if I change some things, not drastically, but permanently, and change the identity that I have in my head, then it's not going to change, right? I think about my relationships. So being in high school and all of my high school boyfriends, my first husband, my second marriage, my third marriage, and just like understanding my self-worth and what I felt like I deserved. And, in high school, I always got cheated on. I always caught my boyfriend with somebody else. And so I just thought, like, I'm not worthy. Like, I'm not enough for one person. And that really like shaped me for a long time. And so when I got married the first time at the age of 18, I thought it was love. But I feel like because of my self-worth, I almost just put it into the universe, just waiting for him to cheat on me, waiting for him to leave me. And he did, and so it wasn't until I went to counseling and like was able to break through those that I realized, like, I am worthy. I do deserve this. And so now I'm like in a healthy relationship. When I think about my business, for me, I went to school and I was a high school math teacher. So I have my bachelor's degree in secondary math education. And, obviously you have to have a degree in order to teach. And then when I decided that I was going to be a stay-at-home mom and I started my own home business, I got up to my teacher's salary, and I would make more, and then it would go back down to my teacher's salary, and I'd make more, and then it'd go back down to what I was making when I was a teacher. And I was like, why does this keep happening? And it was because the internal thermostat that I had set for myself when it came to finances is it didn't matter what I did. My level of education was a teacher. And so I shouldn't be making more than this amount being a business owner from home. Now, is that true? No, but that was the temperature that I got set at. And so until I was able to break through that and understand that I was worth more, and understand that the work and the value that I was putting out was different, and that I was worthy of money and that I was taking care of it, that I wasn't able to make those 5 figures until I broke through all of those limiting beliefs. And so anyway, I just wanted to make you guys aware of your internal thermostat and give you some tactics that you can do to help raise it, because ultimately you don't have to live a life at 75 degrees, or you don't have to live a life at 50 degrees. You don't have to be stuck in your weight loss journey, be stuck in a negative relationship, be stuck in your finances. If you can raise that internal thermostat, then you're going to see more success in your life in whatever area that you choose it to be. So the first thing that you need to do is define it. Define that target. So whether it's a body goal, whether it's a mental health goal, a relationship goal, a finance goal, you need to define what that is. Now, as you raise your thermometer in one of these areas, it'll automatically raise a little bit in the others. But for me, a lot of times when I'm really focused on my health, then my finances go down or my relationships go down. And so picking one target thing is really important to really focus on raising that temperature. And then once you get it once you've made the healthy lifestyle changes that you need to do to stay at that temperature, then working on towards the next one. So the first thing that you want to do is define it. And it's really, really important that you write it down in detail. So get yourself a notebook, write down what's the new identity that you want to create for yourself around your relationship, around your health, around your finances. What's that new identity look like? So define it. Then you want to make it more powerful. You want to make sure that you say it every single day. Okay. So you want to read it to yourself what this new identity is, because what's interesting is your brain doesn't know what's real or fake. And so when you tell it the things that you want it to know, or the things that you want it to see or do or accomplish, it's going to view it as it's already happened, then not. It's kind of like when you're watching a scary movie and you're like freaking out and your heart's beating, right? Because your brain is telling yourself, oh my gosh, this is happening, right? And that's why your body functions the way that it does when you're watching a scary movie. But you know that it's not really true, but your body still functions as if it is, right? And so the same thing is true when you tell yourself how you want to be, things that you want to change. So define it. Number two, make it more powerful. It would be even more powerful if you actually recorded yourself as if, like, oh my gosh, I'm so loving my body at 155 pounds. I love the way I'm fitting in my jeans, and I'm so confident. I can finally wear that two-piece that I've wanted, and just defining it and saying it out loud, and then being able to listen to that. Because if you can hear yourself say it, it just changes the game. Number three is to visualize it. So closing your eyes, just, a few minutes during the day, and just visualizing it actually happen. Because if you can see it, then you can achieve it. And so taking that time to visualize it is going to really, really help solidify it into your brain and raise that internal thermostat. And then number four is you got to prove it. Okay. You can't just think it. You can't just say it. You actually got to prove it. You got to do it. So what are those habits? What are those things that need to change and that you need to do consistently? If it's tracking your food, if it's drinking more water, if it's steering clear of sweets or having second helpings, in your relationship, is it making sure that you make time for date night, that you put your phone away at a certain time and spend quality time with each other? If it comes to your finances, is it budgeting? Is it, cutting out some things that maybe you don't need to be spending money on? Is it having a better money mantra? I listened to the book Millionaire Mindset, and one of the things that it says in there is a mantra to say is that money is attracted to me. Everywhere I go, money finds me. And so that's something that we've incorporated as a family. And it's crazy. My kids literally find money everywhere, and they're like on their hands and knees at the grocery store. And I just let them, because they're finding quarters, they're finding nickels, dimes. And they're like, Mom, I found money. And we just say, oh my gosh, money's attracted to you. Everywhere you go, money finds you. And just giving them that abundant mindset and letting them know that money wants to come to them. Growing up, we always were just shunned away from money. Don't talk about it. People that talk about money are greedy, and it just gave us obviously a bad money mindset. And so breaking those habits and saying good affirmations around money. So proving it means taking the action that you need to in order to make it happen. And then the last thing is to live it. You want to make sure that the people that you're surrounding yourself are at a higher temperature than you in the area that you want to work on. Make sure that you fill your newsfeed full of people who are fit, who are working out every day, who are eating healthy, if nutrition is your goal. You don't want to see somebody's bag of potato chips watching Netflix, or all these amazing desserts or things like that in your newsfeed, because it's going to self-sabotage you, right? You're not going to hit your goals. And so make sure that you surround yourself with people who are where you want to be. And if you go back to the analogy of, you're in a room and you're at 75 degrees, if you're in a room of people that are at 50 degrees, you're going to second guess yourself. You're going to lower down to their level. But if you're in a room of people that are at 100 degrees, what are you automatically going to think? You're going to think, I can do it too. I got to step it up if I want to be in the company of these people, and it's going to automatically raise your temperature. So, that goes with finances. It goes with relationships. Find people who are where you want to be, who have what you want to have, and put them in your newsfeed. Listen to their books, consume their podcasts, all of the things. So that way you can raise your internal thermostat. So quick recap: define it, make it more powerful, visualize it, prove it, and live it. And if you do these 5 things around whatever area you choose, you are going to find yourself living a more successful life. And just to recap back to the beginning, time doesn't change things, you change things. So I hope that this helps and that you will make a positive change in your life. So I want to know, drop it below. What is one area that you personally want to work on? And if you're not already following me, make sure that you click the follow button. You can follow me on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and you can click the link in my bio and get subscribed to my weekly emails. So super excited, grateful that I get to do this and connect with all of you guys. And I'd love to hear from you. So make sure you reach out if you have any questions, suggestions, or just want to say hi. All right. Okay. Bye, friends.